New insight into a deadly police shooting. A 16-year-old boy killed during an exchange of gunfire.
Tonight, officer body camera footage is obtained by CTV News. What it shows about the traffic stop that ended in a loss of life. Good evening. We want to warn you the video is disturbing and appears to show the teen pull a gun before being shot by police.
The province's Special Investigation Unit is trying to determine if the use of force was justified. CTV's Mike Walker is at the scene of the shooting in North York and joins us live with the latest. Mike.
Well, Nathan and Michelle, the Toronto Police Association and experts say this highlights the dangers officers face and the split-second decisions they have to make. Meantime, the mayor calls it a terrible situation while speaking out against gun violence.
Body camera footage obtained by CTV News shows how a traffic stop turned into a deadly shootout. You can see a young woman is removed from the back seat, followed by a young man who appears to pull out a gun. Multiple gunshots are fired. The video is too graphic to show in its entirety. A security camera across the street also captured the exchange of gunfire as officers appear to fire shots from both the front and rear of the vehicle.
Just put so much fear into me to seeing one of our members, what appears to be shot at during this traffic stop. And I'm so happy that they're okay.
The president of the Toronto Police Association has seen the body cam video. He says this incident highlights the dangers police face and the split-second decisions they have to make.
The last thing our officers would ever want to do is use lethal force, but what was so impressive for me, as soon as that happened, they were immediately providing first aid, CPR, to the person that tried to kill them. This is going to live with these officers for the rest of their lives.
It all started when police pulled over the red Infiniti for missing a front license plate near Bathurst and Shepherd Sunday night. The SIU says it has reviewed body camera footage and say that the 16-year-old boy who died shot at police and then the officers discharged their firearms at him. The SIU now determining if the use of force by police was justified.
But when you've got video evidence like that, it should be a fairly quick investigation.
Former OPP Commissioner and CTV Public Safety Analyst Chris Lewis has reviewed the video multiple times.
That was as much justification to use deadly force as I've ever seen. Ultimately, had the officer not avoided that gunfire and fired rounds into the shooter, the officer may well be dead.
The teen was among 6 people in the car. 5 others, including 3 teenage girls, are all facing firearms-related charges. The mayor calls it a terrible situation.
It's a 16-year-old. They don't need a gun.
Olivia Chow says the city needs to do more to keep guns out of the hands of young people.
We have to give young people more opportunities, more hope, employment.
The SIU director expressing concern that the body camera footage has been leaked. Toronto police would not comment further on the incident, but say it's investigating the leak of the video.
The SIU says its investigation is ongoing, and that includes an analysis of the vehicle involved in this case, as well as interviews with witnesses. Reporting live, I'm Mike Walker. Nathan, back to you.
Thank you, Mike. There are new details tonight in the killing of an international student in Hamilton.
The young woman struck by a stray bullet last week. Today, police provided an update on their search for suspects as her college community continues to mourn. CTV's John Musselman reports.
More than 200 people filled this outdoor square at Mohawk College today to honor the memory of murder victim Hasimrat Randawa. The 21-year-old international student was struck by a stray bullet last Thursday night. Classmates and friends are struggling to cope with the senseless tragedy.
This is a tragedy, and it's going to be hard for us to forget all this, and it's hard for us to just grieve, because that kind of death nobody deserves. Like a gunshot and you're gone.
It's been absolutely devastating. We are devastated for Hasimrat and as well as her family here in Canada, as well as in India, for her community members, for her program members, for everybody who was touched by this loss.
I used to be an international student myself, so it does hit you differently, especially when it's related to gun violence and how arbitrary the tragedy was. So yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody is impacted by it.
Police say the victim was about to cross the street near a bus stop at Upper James and South Bend Road when this happened. There was a confrontation between suspects in 2 different vehicles and multiple shots were exchanged. The woman was hit in the chest by one of the bullets. She was rushed to a hospital, which she did not survive. Police say they are making progress in this case. Both vehicles involved in the shooting have since been located.
The white Hyundai Elantra was recovered on April the 20th in a residential area in northwestern Toronto. That vehicle has since been towed back to Hamilton for forensic examination. On April 21st, the Hamilton Police Service executed a search warrant at a residence in central Hamilton where we recovered the black Mercedes SUV that was used in this homicide.
Investigators say they have narrowed down a pool of people who are associated with these vehicles. They are encouraging those involved to contact a lawyer and turn themselves in. We spoke to the victim's uncle today in a brief phone call. He says the family is devastated. Matt's body will be flown back to India tomorrow. There will be a service for her on Saturday in the village where her parents live. John Musselman, CTV News in Hamilton.
Also tonight, transforming pain into purpose, a family's campaign of kindness, honoring one of the many lives taken by the Yonge Street van attack 7 years ago today.
We turn to the ongoing and never-ending effort to unclog congestion in Toronto.
There will soon be someone leading the charge. Today, City Council agreeing to appoint a so-called traffic czar to tackle the problem. CTV's Janice Golding joins us live with those details. Janice.
Hi, Michelle. Yes, City Council has carried a motion made by Mayor Olivia Chow to appoint a congestion czar to fight traffic gridlock in our city. Now, the mayor says this is a necessary step so that the city has a leader to oversee creative cross-divisional solutions to tackling congestion. Now, Chow also says the czar can preemptively identify challenges and recommend solutions to get Toronto moving. The mayor's motion follows a city staff report which determined construction is the biggest driver of bumper-to-bumper congestion. The report also noted that Toronto has more construction than any other city in North America. And last summer, at its peak, travel times more than doubled, given 24% of all roads were closed temporarily.
Right now on congestion, it could be, it could be construction, it could be road pricing, it could be transportation, it could be procurement, because they are in charge of constructions too. And all of those elements, then it gets into different departments. So having a lead, a person in charge, which means that person will take the responsibility and all bucks will stop at that person.
I think that czar or czarina will be able to report, directly to the mayor. They'll be held to account. It'll hold the general manager to account. And I just liken it to a drone. You've got your eyes everywhere. You're watching all of these things. That's your job, to watch.
Now, last fall, City Council approved a 3-year congestion plan, which included appointing 75 traffic agents that would oversee the busiest intersections in our city. Reporting live, I'm Janice Golding. Now back to Michelle.
Thank you, Janice. In Oshawa, an elderly woman was seriously injured when she was struck by a school bus this afternoon. It happened on Simcoe Street South between Mill Street and Albany Street. The woman was taken to a Toronto trauma center. Her injuries are considered life-threatening. Police say none of the children on the bus was hurt.
Still ahead, giving younger people the power to vote. The push is City Council to grant teenagers more rights and opportunities for civic engagement. We explain.
But first, a live look outside as we take our first look at the forecast. And there is a lot to like this evening. Look at this beautiful shot. Bright sunshine, very comfortable, mild temperatures. And you wouldn't know by looking at this evening sky that there is the potential for things to get stormy tonight. Let's bring in Lindsay Morrison with a look at the current conditions. Lindsay.
Well, Michelle, we have less of a chance of it being stormy tonight than we do tomorrow night and the night after that. But you're right, there is a chance of an isolated shower or thunder shower. Let's talk temperatures. 22 degrees in Windsor, 21 in London, 16 in Peterborough. Not bad at all. It is cooler downtown Toronto than it is at Pearson Airport. We made it to a high of 16 today. The reason it's cooler by the lake, a southeasterly wind, even though it's not overly strong. Starting to see a little bit of an increase in cloud cover. Overnight tonight, we remain above seasonal, and tomorrow it's going to be not only warm, but humid. We'll talk all about it coming up. For now, Michelle, back to you.
Thanks, Lindsay. Some breaking business news this evening. Hudson's Bay Company is now taking steps to close all of its remaining stores. Canada's oldest company filed for bankruptcy protection last month and started liquidation sales at 90 of its 96 locations across the country. A number of flagship stores in the GTA and Montreal area were excluded in case a buyer could be found, while a new court filing suggests that's not considered likely at this stage, and liquidation sales will start at those remaining stores on Friday.
The province announced it's cracking down on school boards they claim overspend despite running deficits.
We have identified numerous instances over several years where other boards have failed to address ongoing financial deficits. So we are moving forward with appointing financial investigators to look into the Toronto District School Board, the Toronto Catholic District School Board, and the Ottawa Carleton District School Board. And based on the outcomes of these investigations, we may take further action.
The Thames Valley Board in the London area has been placed under supervision following a convention trustees held at Toronto's Sky Dome Hotel. Meanwhile, the Brand Haldimand Norfolk Catholic Board has been given governance expectations. That move followed a trip all the way to Italy to select art pieces to purchase for schools.
The Crown Attorney made opening remarks today in the sex assault trial of 5 former World Junior hockey players.
CTV's Adrian Gobriel reports from London.
The weight of this day outlined on the face of each of the accused as they entered court.
Now it's time that we have a conversation about what is consent to sexual activity in hockey.
With the jury of 14, that includes 11 women and 3 men, listening intently, Crown Prosecutor Heather Donkers began her opening remarks, painting a, quote, roadmap of events that will be challenged during this trial. To protect her identity, we can only refer to the alleged victim as EM. Donkers told the jury this case is about whether EM voluntarily agreed to engage in each and every instance of sexual touching that took place, going on to claim that the defendants took no steps to ensure there was affirmative consent when they touched her. Instead, they just did whatever they wanted.
Just because you consented to some sexual activity with some individuals does not mean that you therefore consented to all sexual activities with all individuals who may be around.
The jury will hear that EM drank approximately 8 drinks on the evening she met some members of the 2018 gold medal winning World Junior team at this London, Ontario bar. She went back to this hotel with World Junior player Michael McLeod and had consensual sex. Though following intercourse, the Crown claims McLeod sent a group text inviting teammates to the room. EM alleges that afterwards, 7 others entered the hotel and, quote, directed, manipulated, and intimidated her into remaining in the room where she says she was sexually assaulted. Continual consent in those hours will now be closely scrutinized.
You have autonomy over your body, and you get to make those decisions about what you're going to engage in, when and with who, in an ongoing way.
Former Team Canada captain Dylan Dubé, Cal Foote, Carter Hart, McLeod, and Alex Fermenton have each been charged with sexual assault. McLeod is also facing 1 charge of being party to the offense.
This afternoon, we were expecting to hear a London police detective continue with this trial's initial testimony. Though after the break, the judge called back the jury and quickly dismissed them, saying something happened over the lunch hour that she needs to think about and discuss with the lawyers. Court is scheduled to resume tomorrow. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, London, Ontario.
York Regional Police are sharing dramatic video from a series of commercial break-and-enters over the weekend in Vaughan. Video from inside one of the 3 impacted businesses shows a suspect smash through the front glass door and flee with a cash register. This happened early Saturday at a plaza near Clark and Hilda Avenues. Investigators believe the incidents were crimes of opportunity and not hate-motivated. They're now searching for the suspect and the white sedan seen in surveillance footage. They're asking anyone with information to get in touch.
2 15-year-olds are among the 4 suspects arrested in a mall robbery in Burlington. It happened at a TELUS store at the Mapleview Shopping Center late Tuesday morning. Officers say the suspects took off in a stolen Honda CR-V, which crashed at the Trafalgar Road off-ramp in Oakville. 4 suspects were arrested. A 5th remains outstanding. Now to the federal campaign trail with Election Day fast approaching.
Leaders are crisscrossing the country to secure Canadian support as the race nears its final stretch. CTV's Scott Hurst has the latest.
With all platforms now out, party leaders are sharpening their final pitches to voters.
And it comes down to one word: change.
We're going to fight hard for you.
This is the time for serious leadership.
Pierre Poilievre in Hamilton, Ontario today with a message of restoring order, promising a crackdown on 10 cities, amending the criminal code to give officers more power to dismantle encampments, and what he calls a housing-first approach to ensure enough stable alternatives and addiction treatment.
No more excuses by politicians claiming they don't have the powers. The powers will be right there in the criminal code.
Jagmeet Singh started the day in Edmonton promising to fight for national rent control by putting in place a ban on so-called rent evictions, but continuing to face questions about his own future as leader of the party with sagging poll numbers.
I don't hear any bell. You guys hear a bell? I heard the bell from the bike, but I don't hear a bell. This round's not over. This fight's not over.
Mark Carney was out west in Victoria, BC, as Vancouver Island appears poised to be a key battleground, with the Liberals hoping to capitalize. And we heard a familiar message that's been the backbone of the party's campaign, standing up to Donald Trump.
This is a critical election. British Columbians could decide who is Canada's Prime Minister on Monday.
Bloc Québécois leader Yves-François Blanchet says the Liberals aren't up for the job of representing Quebecers, believing that province still might hand the Bloc, in his words, a huge gift on Monday. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
And taking a look at the latest Nanos poll for CTV News and the Globe and Mail, the Liberals saw their support grow to 44.1%, and the Conservatives were also up to 38.5%. The NDP, on the other hand, saw their share of decided voters slide back below the 10% mark, amid slight shifts from the Bloc, the Greens, and the People's Party. Experts say the popular vote won't tell the whole story on election night.
The thing is, the Liberals are marginally ahead, like 4 or 5 percentage points, than the Conservatives. But the thing is, the Conservative support is not as efficient at converting into seats, and that's really what we should focus on. And, you know, for the NDP at 8, it looks like a complete wipeout, could be a complete wipeout. But if in the close of the campaign they focus on seats that they held, kind of like the NDP in Ontario, it might not be as bad of a wipeout. And I'm sure Jagmeet Singh is hoping that, as some of the polling numbers might suggest.
And when it comes to Canadians' choice for their next prime minister, Liberal leader Mark Carney strengthened his lead, climbing to 3.6 points to nearly 49% support. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre was up more than a point to 35.4%. And NDP leader Jagmeet Singh slid to 4% support. Those Nanos polls of more than 1,300 adults are considered accurate within 2.7 percentage points, 19 times out of 20. And a reminder to join CTV News Election Night, Monday night, for results, analysis, and perspective from all across the country. Our coverage gets underway at 7 p.m. Eastern, led by Omar Sachedina and Vashi Capellos.
And as the federal election approaches, there was a push at City Hall to get youth more involved in political issues. As CTV's Beth McDonnell reports, a motion passed today to allow 16-year-olds to vote in neighborhood polls.
The love for Christie Pitts Park is strong, and it's one of many places across Toronto more young people could influence with decision-making power thanks to a new motion in front of City Council.
I would love to hear from the whole community.
Councillor Diane Sachs is leading the effort to lower the voting age from 18 to 16 on neighborhood polls. These polls are a tally on issues, anything from a park to parking, usually done by mail or online.
Neighborhood polls have generally been used only for very local issues, speed bumps and so on. So things that affect your particular street, your block, your immediate area. It's a really useful way for councils like me to hear from the local community.
Sachs says while neighborhood polls are not widely known, they are in the municipal code. And by lowering the voting age to 16 for them, more youth can have a stronger voice in shaping their community.
This is a very small but very strong concrete step to ensuring we're breaking down the barriers and getting youth participation in democracy.
16-year-old Jaden Brave says there are many young people who are eager to vote for all levels of government. They often have part-time jobs, take transit, and are discussing social issues with their peers.
I'm
honestly tired of a country where we don't prioritize civic literacy and ensuring our young Canadians, our high school students, our elementary students can grow up and understand the fundamentals of living in a society, working with government institutions, and being a passionate citizen.
He, along with the group Vote 16, have been working with Councillor Sachs to make the motion a reality. They hope the change spreads.
So other municipalities in Ontario will be able to use the City of Toronto as an example on how to make a more inclusive democracy for young people and for everyone.
Sachs says research shows 16 and 17-year-olds are as well informed as 18-year-olds. And if young people begin voting in high school, they are more likely to be voters for their entire lives. Beth McDonnell, CTV News.
Today marked a new phase in the ancient ceremonies and traditions of laying a pope to rest.
Francis's coffin was taken to St. Peter's Basilica to lie in state ahead of his funeral on Saturday. CTV's Genevieve Beauchemin is following all the developments from Vatican City.
A procession through St. Peter's Square, retracing some of the same route Pope Francis traveled just hours before his passing. Now his final journey from Casa St. Marta to St. Peter's Basilica, accompanied by cardinals and the Swiss Papal Guard. Tens of thousands crowded the square to witness the moment. Among them Brandon Figueroa, a missionary in Bulgaria.
I'm very happy to say goodbye or see you later, Pope Francis, because I learned a lot of things from him.
Among the first to pay their respects to the Pope, lying in state in this simple wooden coffin near ground level, not on a pedestal, were members of the clergy. I was very emotional because of the great silence in the basilica. It took me closer to him, says Sister Catarina from Brazil. But others too, including some of other faiths, stood in line for more than 5 hours.
It's incredible. When you see it in the television, you also don't believe that it's so as it is, and so many people.
Security has been stepped up and preparations are underway for the funeral Saturday, a moment of tradition and rituals, but simplified in accordance with the Pope's wishes. Cardinals from around the world have gathered, including Marc Ouellet from Quebec, who now lives in Rome. Ouellet said he admired Pope Francis for his humility, bravery, and his missionary spirit, something many others here too have come to praise. The public viewing will continue until 8 p.m. local time here on Friday night. At that time, the casket will be closed in preparation for the funeral. Genevieve Beauchemin, CTV News, Vatican City.
As the Trump administration indicates it's prepared to walk away from peace talks between Russia and Ukraine, the U.S. vice president says those negotiations are at a moment of truth.
We want the killing to stop, and the only way to really stop the killing is for the armies to both put down their weapons, to freeze this thing, and to get on with the business of actually building a better Russia and a better Ukraine.
Vice President J.D. Vance said both countries would have to give up land under a proposed deal. But this week, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky ruled out ceding any territory and called for an unconditional ceasefire. Today, Donald Trump said Zelensky's comments would prolong the fighting. Experts on the region say Russia is likely not interested in halting its invasion.
I don't think Russia is looking for a way out. Russia has the upper hand. It's got the Americans more or less on side. It isn't exhausted or beaten down yet.
Meanwhile, Ukrainian officials say a Russian drone hit a bus carrying workers in the country's east. At least 9 people were killed and more than 40 injured.
India is downgrading its ties with Pakistan following yesterday's deadly attack by suspected militants in Kashmir. Protests were held in parts of India today with participants expressing anger over the killings of 26 men in the disputed region, mostly tourists. India has called the incident a terror attack and blamed groups with ties to Pakistan. Pakistan has denied involvement, but India has said it will suspend a key water treaty close to the shared land border and reduce diplomatic staff. The land border. Pakistan's government is set to meet and consider its response tomorrow morning.
A powerful 6.2 magnitude earthquake rocked Istanbul today. Turkish officials say around 150 people were injured after leaping from buildings in a panic when the shaking started. None of them were listed in critical condition. One abandoned building also collapsed, but nobody there was hurt.
Back here at home, today marks a somber anniversary in the city's history. It was 7 years ago that a man drove a van down Yonge Street, killing 10 people and injuring 16 more.
One of the victims was Anne-Marie D'Amico, and since then, her family has tried to turn something positive out of that terrible day. And today, they focus on a special campaign aimed at Toronto's students. CTV's Allison Hurst has the details.
Children perform at St. Francis Xavier Catholic School for the new Kind is Cool event, launching with the Anne-Marie D'Amico Foundation.
When there's an opportunity to spread kindness, to have impact, you run with it.
D'Amico was one of 10 people killed in the van attack 7 years ago today. 16 people were also injured, and an 11th person died several years later from injuries suffered that day. D'Amico's family created the foundation to bring awareness to domestic violence.
My sister just had that innate ability to be kind to everyone and really go out of her way.
To honor her legacy, her family and students placed roses at the front and decorated the gym with hundreds of purple turtles with ways to be kind written on the back of each one.
Sometimes people think it's not cool to be kind, and people kind of go the other way. And she kind of flipped that script. And that's what we're trying to do here today as well, and make sure that everyone understands that kindness and inclusion is important.
D'Amico's favorite color was purple, and animal, a turtle.
It's not meant to be a sad day. It's meant to be a day of celebrating our true values and who we are as people, and the kindness and love we have for each other. That's how we want this day to be remembered.
Students say the message of kindness is practiced in their classrooms.
We had a new student, and I think he's been settled in pretty well because everyone has been showing him kindness, and I think he feels pretty welcome.
Kindness is one of the biggest virtues that one can have, and kindness can be lived in many different types of forms.
I think of like people who feel bad every day, just want to show them some kindness.
It's through these types of kind acts D'Amico's memory lives on. Allison Hurst, CTV News.
Coming up ahead, 2-0 but the job's not done. The Leafs hit the road for Game 3 as the Battle of Ontario shifts to Ottawa. We hear from the players and coach just ahead.
And I'm Pat Foran. Coming up on Consumer Alert, have you ever thought of putting solar panels on your home? Now there are government rebates that could help you get back up to $5,000. But what if you change your mind and want to remove them? Who pays for that? I'll have that story. That's just ahead.
Well, we are looking at a warm day tomorrow. Some communities in the GTA will climb into the 20s. That is well above seasonal. And we're talking humidex values as well, making it feel into the upper 20s. A pretty zonal jet stream means we're going to stay consistently mild over the next little bit here. But we're also looking at some active weather, especially Friday night and into Saturday. We'll talk all about this in your 7-day forecast coming up. And we've got another full night of great shows for you right here on CTV. Stay with us.
The Ontario Home Renovation Savings Program is offering rebates if you install heat pumps, new windows, or solar panels.
Adding solar panels to your roof can help generate clean energy, but if you do, you could end up locked into a long-term contract. Pat Foran joins us with Consumer Alert. Pat.
Thanks, Michelle and Nathan. Not all solar panel contracts are the same, and if you're thinking of installing them, it's a big decision. And an Oshawa man who had them installed on his home now wants them removed and is shocked at how much he may have to pay. This is what Ryan Adams' house in Oshawa looks like now in the spring, but here it is when we visited 2 months ago. It was a winter with above-average snowfall, and at times the solar panels on his roof would accumulate ice and snow. At times it would come crashing down on his deck, once hitting his wife and narrowly missing his son.
She was able to push him backwards. The snow and ice hit her, knocked her down the stairs. Thankfully, she didn't need to go to the hospital or anything like that, but it scared us from coming out here and being able to utilize our backyard.
Adam says he had the solar panels installed 12 years ago when he felt he should do his part for the environment.
I took pictures, put it on social media as it was going up, saying, hey, I was doing my one good deed for mankind.
There have been problems with birds nesting under the panels, but Adam's main concern is snow and ice buildup creating unsafe conditions. He signed a 20-year contract to lease his roof space and receives $250 a year, but now he just wants out.
Even if they 10 times that amount, I still don't think I'd want the panels on my roof.
When Adams reached out to the company, he was surprised how much he would have to pay to break the contract. RSS Solar told him, "We're offering a buyout price of $20,000, including HST. This offer is being extended 8 years ahead of the original contract term." Adams says he's willing to work with the company, but hopes to pay a lot less to get rid of the solar panels.
For my family safety, I'd love the panels off one way or another. I'm open to help and do what I can do from my end, but I'd love to have them off my roof.
The company told CTV News RRS Solar has successfully managed over 500 green energy rooftop solar systems across the province with homeowners over the past 12 years. If a homeowner wants to terminate the agreement, they may do so in accordance with the terms of the agreement. Both sides are still in negotiations. If you're considering getting solar panels, be aware of the details, such as who pays to remove the panels and what the penalty is if you end the contract early. And before installing solar panels, you'll want to read the fine print and think about the age and condition of your roof. You should also consider if it could affect your resale value and your home insurance. On your side, I'm Pat Foran.
If you have a consumer story idea, email us at alert@ctv.ca.
All right, looking at the forecast now, and really it was a lovely day, lots of sunshine. Hopefully it continues.
Where there's a potential for unsettled weather in the days ahead, but I think one of the headlines is we're going to be talking humidity tomorrow, Lindsay.
Yeah, all of a sudden feeling like summer. We've been talking about it finally feeling more reasonably like spring, but boy, oh boy, the temperatures tomorrow, more typical of, dare I say, July than April, so we're looking forward to that. Here's where it doesn't look or feel like summer right now, and that's in parts of the prairies. A potent spring storm swept through southern Saskatchewan Monday and Tuesday, and the result? Close to 40 centimeters of snow in some areas, especially Esterhazy, picking up about 38 centimeters of snow. Other communities closer to that 30 centimeter threshold. I know this is not what we want to see at this time of year, at least not most of us, I don't think. I don't quite want to say that this is behind us here in southern Ontario, but I do want to talk about a very different weather story on tap for us tomorrow. Now, same disturbance moving across the prairies, now making its way across northern parts of Ontario. It has weakened significantly, and we could get a few showers or maybe embedded thunder showers as a result of a trough into tomorrow. Even overnight tonight, there's the slightest risk. There's tomorrow morning around 9 a.m. So at this point, the models are showing maybe a few showers or thunder showers, mainly north of us. Then things are going to clear out, and it's going to be a pretty lovely day. Not only warm, but lots of sunshine as we make our way through the afternoon and early evening. Let's talk about Friday, though. We do see an increase in cloud cover Friday morning. Into the afternoon, we see our first round of potentially scattered showers, maybe an embedded thunder shower, and then things become a little more intense as we make our way late Friday, overnight into Saturday. Steadier rainfall expected, and as you can see here, likely some thunderstorms as well. We'll pay attention to see over the next day or so here if those look to be severe in nature, and then likely some wet weather as you are waking up on Saturday morning. It's going to clear out as the day goes on. Now, it's already quite mild across southwestern Ontario, 22 degrees this hour in Windsor. That's actually a cool down now with some showers starting to move in. 8 is our forecast overnight low. That's warmer than normal. 5 is the average overnight low. Look at this, 25 degrees for the high tomorrow in the city of Guelph. Notice how it's cooler in places like Welland and Burlington, all thanks to the breeze off of Lake Ontario. That easterly wind, it doesn't need to be all that strong, but it does cool things down along the Lake Ontario shoreline. But many communities around the Golden Horseshoe going to enjoy a 20-degree day tomorrow. Pearson, we're forecasting 23. Humidex value, about 26. Then Friday, colder air moves in. Saturday, we're back to seasonal at about 13. Don't get too used to that, though. Sunday is looking spectacular. Sunshine in 17. Similar conditions through the early part of next week. Eyeing next Tuesday for perhaps another round of wet weather. But look at that high. 22 is what we're forecasting at this point. That's your look at the weather for now. Michelle, I'll send it over to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Also tonight, fertility drug usage is on the rise. New research reveals more Canadian women are turning to costly treatment in the hopes of having a child.
It's estimated 1 in 6 Canadian couples struggle to conceive a child.
And new data finds fertility treatments are on the rise. CTV's health reporter Pauline Chan has more on recent efforts to improve access to services.
She's so sweet and smart and articulate, and it's been wonderful watching her grow.
Little Scotty has become the joy of Zane and Baden Colt's lives, and during Fertility Awareness Week, the family is grateful for the support they've received in Ontario.
IVF and in our case, gestational surrogacy is no easy feat. It's incredibly challenging. It's incredibly costly and time-consuming and hard emotionally and physically.
Ontario currently covers one round of in vitro fertilization at a cost of approximately $20,000, but costs like testing of embryos, travel, surrogacy, and legal matters are largely out of pocket. Last October, the province announced it was putting $150 million over 2 years to expand fertility services, tripling the number of families able to access IVF to over 16,000. Manulife Canada reports a big jump last year in women accessing coverage for fertility-related drugs.
What we've noticed in our 2024 data is a 15% increase in our member base, females in our member base, who are accessing fertility-related medication.
And they believe acceptance and awareness is why.
We do believe that likely awareness is certainly something that we are seeing increasing significantly in terms of women understanding different options that are available to them. We are also observing a trend of more families expressing interest to grow.
In 2025, Ontario also brought in a tax credit to support families going through fertility treatments.
We're still waiting to hear about the eligibility criteria as to what will be covered and what won't be covered.
And as Colt and his wife wait to hear details, they're already hoping and planning for a second child. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Bryan Adams has announced 40 concert dates for what's being called his biggest tour in years. The Canadian rocker is set to perform 19 of those dates across this country as he hits the road with his Roll with the Punches tour. That's also the title of his upcoming 17th studio album. Adams says the show will include some new tracks as well as all the classics and some deep cuts. He plays Scotiabank Arena October 3rd.
Today marks 20 years since the first ever video was uploaded to YouTube.
All right, so here we are in front of the elephants.
The company's 25-year-old co-founder, Javed Karim, uploaded a 19-second clip called Me at the Zoo. From there, YouTube would become a quick smash success, with Google buying it just 18 months later for $1.6 billion. Now more than 2 billion people visit the site each month.
After the break, expanding women's professional ice hockey to the West Coast. The PWHL's newest franchise lands in Vancouver. Details on the historic announcement coming up.
So much fear into me to seeing one of our members, what appears to be shot at.
Updating our top stories, disturbing body cam footage obtained by CTV News shows how a traffic stop near Bathurst and Shepherd turned deadly Sunday night. The SIU says a 16-year-old boy who was killed, shot at police, and then the officers fired shots at him. The SIU is now determining if the use of force by police was justified.
This is a tragedy. And it's going to be hard for us to forget all this.
More than 200 people gathered at Mohawk College to honor the memory of murder victim Harsimrat Ramdahawa. The 21-year-old international student was hit by a stray bullet last Thursday night in Hamilton. Police say they've located 2 vehicles related to the incident and have narrowed down a pool of individuals associated to those cars.
That person will take the responsibility, and all bucks will stop at that person.
And Toronto City Council has agreed to appoint a so-called traffic czar to tackle congestion on the roads. Mayor Olivia Chow says it's important the city has a leader to oversee creative and cross-divisional solutions to the chronic issue, on top of recent steps like passing a congestion plan and hiring new traffic agents.
Remember to keep up to date day and night at ctvnewstoronto.ca and by downloading the CTV News app.
On the markets, the Canadian dollar dropped a third of a cent to end the day at just over 72 cents U.S. Western Canadian Select Oil is up $1.25 to $53.09 a barrel. And another positive day for the TSX. It gained 166 points to end the day at 24,472.
The Business Report is brought to you by Canadian Western Bank, the bank built for business.
The city is issuing a reminder to all homeowners that some important paperwork is due soon relating to the Toronto vacant home tax. Residential property owners have to declare once a year that their property was occupied and not left vacant, or they may face a tax of 3% of the home's value. Those declarations for 2024 are due by next Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. They can be submitted online, by phone, or in person. Well, the big question, can the Maple Leafs continue their successful streak in the Battle of Ontario?
The team pulled off a thrilling overtime win last night against the Senators. They're now headed to Ottawa, 2 games ahead in the first round of these playoffs. CTV's Sean Leathong reports.
He's in over the line, dropping for Max. Max into the slot, shooting,
An overtime winner, putting the Leafs up 2-0 in the series and sending their fans into a frenzy.
This is our city. We own Ontario. We own Ontario. Leafs at 4. Ottawa, go to bed.
The goal, a career highlight for Max Domi, who grew up around this building as the son of former Leaf Ty Domi.
Yeah, that was cool. And there's a few of us guys that are, more local guys that could imagine that feeling, and we're all super happy for him.
In a game that Toronto led 2-0 after the first period, but allowed Ottawa to claw back, today Coach Craig Berube said it was important for his team to reset going into overtime and
throw everything at the net. Throw it at the net. You never know.
Now the team travels to Ottawa for games 3 and 4, a place where Leafs fans often show up in waves.
I don't know how many Leaf fans are going to be allowed in the building. I know in playoffs, home teams usually, I don't know if they limit that. I don't know if that's on purpose or not.
Our fans are everywhere. It's always nice to see them in the stands, but it'll be the same tomorrow.
And while the Senators have at times outplayed the Leafs with no results, they're hoping home ice is just what they need.
The Senators are saying, Ridley Gregg today, the series really hasn't begun until the home team loses. So the Senators just want to hold serve right now. They just want to get things back to Toronto tied up. We'll see what happens, but the Leafs are in a very good spot.
So while the Leafs appear to be in control, nothing in this series is settled. Despite the fact that the Leafs are up in this series, they actually lost all 3 games against the Senators in the regular season. So as this series moves onto Ottawa's turf, it's reasonable to expect some change. Sean Leathong, CTV News.
The Professional Women's Hockey League is coming to Vancouver. A 9-year-old girl who plays hockey for the Vancouver Angels made the announcement at a news conference today. The Vancouver team will start playing in the 2025-2026 season and will be based out of the Pacific Coliseum. The league currently has 6 teams, including the Toronto Scepters. Vancouver will be number 7. And just ahead, unleashing happiness at the office. Employees treated to a parade of cuddly puppies, giving a whole new meaning to the phrase working like a dog.
Tonight from Battleground to British Columbia.
Think about Canadians, right? That we can navigate the stormy waters.
What's driving voters just days before Election Day in a province that has some of the country's tightest races? Tonight on CTV National News from Victoria.
Well, what better way to end the newscast than with puppies? Furry and friendly, they're bound to relieve some stress from the day.
And as CTV's Scott Lightfoot reports, it's why some 4-legged employees were added to the payroll at a downtown business today.
Lunchtime at Click Health on Bloor Street looked more like playtime today for both employees and their furry guests.
They have a lot of energy today, which I was ready for like a calm puppy, but they're just, I don't know, it just makes you, even if you're not a huge puppy person, you can't help but smile with how cute they are. And their energy is contagious. I feel like I just had another coffee.
8 10-week-old Maltese puppies were brought in over the noon hour in what's become an annual tradition at the company.
April is National Stress Awareness Month, and we were aware of that and just wanted to make sure that we're providing Clicksters with a way to relieve some stress in the office and to have some fun with their fellow Clicksters, all while playing with a few little cute puppies.
The company's been offering the de-stressing puppy time each April for the past 5 years.
I mean, it's hard to have a bad day when there's puppies around.
Many staff said the chance to sit down and pet, play, even take some selfies seemed to work to lower their stress levels.
I actually totally forgot that I was stressed today. So this was good. This is very helpful. Yeah.
I do feel like I got a little stressed with them trying to escape, but stress levels of puppies still outweighs stress levels of work.
And as for the very active animals, well, the exercise seemed to lower some of their stress levels too. Scott Lightfoot, CTV News.
We need to do that here.
I know. Can we lobby to get puppies in the newsroom? Come on now. It could be a stressful job. All right, let's get going on the weather forecast. And do you think in Toronto we'll see some lightning tonight, or?
I think we might be okay tonight. There is a slight chance of an isolated shower or thunder shower. Better chance of that happening as we make our way closer to the weekend. What does look like a sure thing, though, is some warmth headed our way. First, though, here's a look at the satellite and radar. A few showers starting to approach from the west, so just be mindful of that as we make our way into the night tonight. Here's your wake-up weather. A cloudy start to the day, but already quite mild. And then look at those highs for tomorrow afternoon. It is once again going to be a couple of degrees cooler by the lake. And then into the weekend, I think Sunday's looking like the best day to be outside. Nathan and Michelle.
Gorgeous. Thank you. Well, that's it for us, but be sure to join Omar Sechenine tonight at 11 for CTV National News, followed by Natalie Johnson with our next local newscast at 11:30.
In the meantime, our coverage continues anytime on CP24 and at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and all of us here at CTV News, thanks for watching and have a great night.